Listen closely. Somewhere right now, someone is studying you, analyzing your moves, judging your choices, waiting for your next mistake. But here's the truth that should shake you awake. That person is you. You've become both the hunter and the hunted. You build walls, then trap yourself inside them. You seek approval from ghosts who wouldn't even recognize your face in daylight. This is the quiet tragedy of modern life. We've all turned our existence into an endless performance. We post, we prove, we perform, and we call that living, but the applause never comes. Instead, we scroll through highlights of other people's fake victories, while our own potential rots in silence. The Stoics warned about this centuries ago. They called it prohairesis, mastery of attention, ownership of self. But unlike us, they didn't tweet it, they lived it. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet his truest power was written in secret journals never meant to be read. Seneca had wealth beyond measure, yet he practiced stillness and silence like a soldier sharpening his blade. Epictetus was born a slave, but through discipline, he mastered the one empire that cannot be conquered from the outside, the human mind. These men didn't hide from the world. They simply refused to let the world own their attention. That's what you forgot. You've handed over your mind to strangers who don't even know your name. You've allowed every vibration, every ping, every post to pull you further from yourself. You've mistaken constant visibility for value. But real strength doesn't shout. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't perform, and it doesn't explain. It simply is. The Stoics understood that silence is not emptiness. It's power under control. And if you're tired of being scattered, exhausted, and addicted to the noise of everyone else's life, then this is your wake-up call. What follows are 7 unbreakable laws that will rebuild your focus, harden your discipline, and return your life to you. Every morning, before your feet even touch the ground, a war begins. The moment your eyes open, your attention is under attack. You reach for your phone, and just like that, you surrender your first victory of the day. You scroll through chaos disguised as connection, opinions, arguments, filtered happiness, digital panic. You think you're catching up, but really, you're falling behind. The Stoics would call this self-betrayal. You've let your peace become public property. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And yet, you've allowed every stranger with a Wi-Fi signal to dictate how you feel before sunrise. The truth is brutal. Your mind is not overwhelmed, it's overfed. You've been feeding it junk, and now it's choking on noise. You can't think clearly because you've forgotten what silence feels like. You don't need more motivation. You need a moment without interference, a sacred space to remember who's in control. You must reclaim your mornings as sacred ground. The first hour of your day decides everything that follows. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. No phone, no messages, no mindless scrolling, just you, your thoughts, and your direction. This isn't luxury, it's warfare. Every notification is a soldier sent to invade your peace. Every scroll is a surrender of attention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So take your power back. Stop letting other people's chaos dictate your calm. Stop allowing headlines to poison your mood. Stop giving energy to people who haven't earned a second of your time. The moment you cut the noise, you'll hear something you've been missing for years, your own voice. The quiet one that tells you what truly matters. The one that knows your purpose better than the entire world combined. Here's your test. Identify one source of noise that's been draining you. The endless news feed. The friend who complains but never changes. The app that keeps you scrolling into exhaustion. Cut it off today, not tomorrow. Today. Don't make a speech about it. Don't explain yourself. Just disappear from the chaos. Silence will do the talking. When you stop feeding distractions, something powerful happens. Your clarity returns. You start seeing your own path again. You stop reacting to everything that moves and start responding with purpose. That's the difference between amateurs and warriors. Amateurs crave stimulation, warriors crave stillness. Amateurs chase noise, warriors create focus. Starting now, your attention is your fortress. No one enters without purpose. The world will still scream for your time, but you'll stand firm, calm, deliberate, unshakable. That's how self-mastery begins. That's how you build a life that no amount of noise can touch. You've been performing for ghosts, Invisible judges who live rent-free in your mind. Every choice you make, every word you speak, every risk you hesitate to take is filtered through the question, what will they think? But here's the truth. They're not thinking about you at all. The people whose opinions control you are too busy managing their own insecurities to care about yours. You're exhausting yourself trying to impress an audience that doesn't exist. The Stoics knew this trap well. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." You've built an entire imaginary theater where you're both actor and critic, performing a life that feels safe but soulless. Silence is your way out. When you stop announcing your every move, you reclaim your freedom. When you stop explaining, you reclaim your peace. The world doesn't need to understand your plan. It only needs to witness your results. You've been conditioned to narrate every step, to post, to share, to prove. But proof is the language of the uncertain. You don't see lions explaining why they hunt. You don't see warriors broadcasting their strategies. They move quietly, strike decisively, and let victory make the noise. That's how you must operate from now on. Speak less, execute more. When you keep your goals private, you build pressure inside you, the kind that turns hesitation into motion. Marcus Aurelius never tweeted his philosophy. He wrote it in a journal that no one was meant to see. Because real power doesn't seek witnesses, it seeks results. Every time you talk about your plans, you release the energy meant to fuel them. Every time you explain yourself, you dilute your momentum. Remember this. People can't ruin what they don't know about. Guard your progress like a secret mission. Let your silence become your armor. Your silence will confuse them. They'll wonder what you're doing, why you've gone quiet, why you're not reacting the way you used to. Good. Let them wonder. Mystery is power. The moment people can predict your moves, they can manipulate them. The moment they can't, they lose control. Moving in silence doesn't mean isolation. It means focus. You're not cutting people off. You're cutting off distractions disguised as connection. You don't owe the world an update. You owe yourself discipline. Seneca warned, associate with those who will make you better. That means protecting your circle, removing the noise, and surrounding yourself only with those who respect your grind. Real warriors don't explain their strategy, they embody it. From now on, stop performing and start building. Speak only when your silence would cost you progress. Every step you take unseen is a step closer to freedom the world can't interfere with. Here's your command. Stop announcing every move like it's breaking news. Every "I'm working on something big" post is energy leaking from your discipline. Every time you seek applause mid-process, you trade progress for dopamine. The Stoics built their strength in private because real transformation doesn't need witnesses. From now on, make your silence your sanctuary. Let your results speak when they're ready. Let your growth become undeniable, not because you talked about it, but because you lived it. You don't need validation to keep moving. You need momentum. You don't need people to understand you. You need purpose. The world is loud with talkers, but history remembers the doers. So stop rehearsing and start executing. Stop craving eyes on you and start craving mastery. When you move in silence, you reclaim your edge, and when you finally speak, your words will carry the weight of action behind them. Every morning, you wake up with a limited amount of life force, mental, emotional, and physical. That's your true currency. And most people spend it like loose change, handing it out to anyone and anything that demands attention. You can't build power when your energy leaks from every crack in your day. The Stoics called it the discipline of attention, knowing what deserves your effort and what doesn't. Marcus Aurelius ruled millions but still wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That's not philosophy, that's energy management. Every yes you give steals time from what actually matters. Every unnecessary argument is a withdrawal from your peace. You're tired not because you're doing too much. You're tired because you're doing too much of the wrong things. From this moment forward, treat your energy as sacred. Spend it only where it multiplies your strength. Stop giving discounts on your presence. Your time, your attention, your emotional stability. They're not public property. Yet every time you argue with negativity, explain yourself to the unworthy, or chase people who drain you, you're handing out pieces of yourself for free. Seneca warned, "Nothing is ours, except time." Think about that. Not money, not possessions. Time, and the energy that fuels it. That's the true wealth of a disciplined mind. So ask yourself, who's spending your energy without paying for it? The gossipers, the complainers, the endless scroll of meaningless updates. Cut them off like dead weight. You are not obligated to attend every emotional circus you're invited to. The world will always offer distractions dressed as opportunities. But when you guard your energy like gold, you'll begin to feel something rare, clarity, a calm focus that no one can shake, because your power is finally under your control. Every yes you give without conviction steals fuel from the mission that truly matters. You can't go all in on your goals when you're half invested in everyone else's drama. This is where most people fail. They confuse kindness with access. Being kind doesn't mean being available. You can care deeply and still set unbreakable boundaries. Epictetus taught, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, let them misunderstand you. Let them call you distant, selfish, or cold. Their confusion is proof that you've stopped being emotionally cheap. The strongest people are not those who say yes to everything. They are the ones who protect their focus like a fortress. Remember this rule. If it doesn't build you, it bleeds you. Every choice either fuels your discipline or feeds your destruction. From today on, your energy must earn interest, not disappear into noise. From this day forward, your energy becomes a private economy. Only things that strengthen you deserve investment. Before saying yes, ask 3 questions. Does this align with my purpose? Does this drain or renew me? Will this matter in a year? If the answer isn't a solid yes, the answer is no, without guilt, without explanation. The disciplined don't waste time convincing others of their priorities. They simply live them. When you protect your energy, something powerful shifts. Your presence becomes valuable. People notice your calm, your focus, your peace. They treat your time with respect because you do. You become unavailable to nonsense and magnetic to progress. The Stoics didn't chase validation because they understood this truth. When your energy is expensive, your life becomes priceless. Guard it, defend it, refuse to waste it. Because every ounce of energy you preserve today becomes the strength that builds your tomorrow. You're trapped, and you don't even see the walls. Every opinion you hear, every algorithm you scroll through, every friend who always agrees with you, they've built a cage around your mind. It's comfortable, predictable, and deadly to growth. You've surrounded yourself with echoes instead of challenges. You don't think anymore, you recycle. The Stoics would call this ignorance disguised as wisdom. Socrates said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing." That humility is extinct today. Everyone wants to sound right. No one wants to be transformed. You nod along with the same ideas, the same people, the same comfort zone, and wonder why your life feels stagnant. The truth is simple. If you never question your beliefs, they own you. Growth doesn't happen in agreement. It happens in friction. If your circle never challenges you, it's not a circle, it's a cage, and it's time to break it open. Comfort has become your enemy. You think stability means peace, but it's really the slow death of potential every time you surround yourself only with people who nod, agree, and validate your excuses. You shrink. The Stoics sought out discomfort deliberately, not because they loved pain, but because they understood that struggle sharpens reason. Seneca practiced voluntary hardship to remind himself that growth demands friction. You must do the same. Read what challenges your beliefs. Talk to people who make you uncomfortable. Step into rooms where you're not the smartest or most experienced. That's how you evolve. That's how you stop confusing familiarity with progress. The bubble feels safe because it protects your ego. But your ego is what's killing your expansion. So burst it. Get honest with yourself. When was the last time you changed your mind? Growth begins the moment you admit you've been living inside an echo. Your bubble is built from repetition. The same thoughts, the same routines, the same opinions recycled until you start mistaking habit for truth. That's the silent poison of modern life. Comfort disguised as clarity. The Stoics warned against it. They believed that wisdom is born from questioning, not from certainty. Socrates didn't call himself wise because he knew everything. He called himself wise because he knew how much he didn't know. That's the mindset you must reclaim. Every time you avoid being challenged, you rob yourself of strength. Every time you dismiss a new idea because it feels uncomfortable, you prove that your ego still runs your life. You don't grow through agreement, you grow through friction. Stop surrounding yourself with mirrors that reflect your old self. Seek windows that show you who you could become. Break routine. Break assumption. Break the comfort that's quietly killing your potential. The echo chamber doesn't just exist online, it exists in your habits, your friendships, and your fears. You wake up the same way, think the same thoughts, talk to the same people, consume the same information, and then wonder why nothing changes. You've built a loop, and that loop has become your prison. The Stoics didn't fear being uncomfortable, they feared being unchanged. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That means you must risk embarrassment. You must risk failure. You must be willing to look inexperienced again." Because wisdom isn't polished, it's earned through friction and humility. Stop chasing validation for what you already know. Seek correction for what you don't. The mind that fears being wrong will stay small forever, but the one that welcomes challenge will become unstoppable. Break the bubble before it breaks your spirit. Growth demands it. Here's your order. Change your environment before it cages your mind. Unfollow what numbs you. Distance yourself from people who only feed your comfort. Seek out voices that stretch your limits. Read things that make you uncomfortable. Debate with humility. Listen to, understand, not to defend. That's how the Stoics forged resilience. Through dialogue, not echo. You are not here to be surrounded by agreement. You are here to evolve. And evolution requires tension. So, stop craving validation and start craving correction. Stop surrounding yourself with those who tell you what you want to hear, and start finding those who tell you what you need to hear. When you break the bubble, life gets louder for a moment, but then clarity rushes in. That noise you've been avoiding. It's the sound of your old self dying. Let it die. The next version of you is waiting outside the comfort you've mistaken for peace. You react too fast. Someone insults you. You snap back. A message hits your phone. You rush to reply. A problem appears. You panic before you think. That's not strength, that's slavery. You're being controlled by impulse, not intention. The Stoics knew the gap between stimulus and response is where mastery lives. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." But most people don't react. They explode. They live as emotional puppets, pulled by whatever provokes them next. The world has trained you to be reactive and not reflective, to post before you process, to argue before you understand, to defend before you even listen. Mastery begins when you reclaim the space between trigger and action. That pause, that single breath before you respond, is your moment of power. That's where your discipline lives. That's where your freedom begins. The pause is not weakness, it's command. When you pause, you step outside the chaos and re-enter control. You shift from reacting emotionally to responding intentionally. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. Before he spoke, he questioned his motives. Before he judged, he examined his thoughts. That's what it means to lead yourself. Modern life teaches the opposite, to react instantly, to fire back, to show strength through speed. But speed without wisdom is self-destruction. Every impulsive reaction costs you energy, credibility, and peace. The pause protects all three. It turns emotional heat into clarity. It transforms insult into insight. The strongest warriors aren't those who strike first. They're the ones who can stay calm while others lose control. Remember this rule. You don't owe anyone a reaction. Every time you hold your peace, you prove you're not their puppet, you're your own master. When something triggers you, that your mind floods with emotion, anger, pride, fear. Most people let that surge drive their next move. But if you want power, you must train yourself to observe before you act. Watch your emotion like a storm. Intense, temporary, but not permanent. Don't fight it, just see it. This is what the Stoics called awareness in action. You cannot control the world, but you can control the moment between thought and response. That's where mastery begins. When you pause, you start to see patterns. How anger repeats, how insecurity disguises itself as defense, how pride makes you blind. You learn to respond from logic, not wounds. You learn that most battles aren't worth fighting. Most comments aren't worth answering, and most problems dissolve when ignored. The pause isn't passive, it's strategic. It's how you stay calm in the storm, while everyone else drowns in their own reactions. The next time you feel that fire in your chest, the insult, the disrespect, the frustration, don't rush to extinguish it. Step back, breathe once, ask yourself 3 questions. Does this deserve my energy? Will this matter tomorrow? Will my reaction make me stronger or smaller? 90% of the time, silence will be your sharpest weapon. Epictetus taught that emotions are opinions. not facts. Your anger isn't truth, it's interpretation. When you pause, you expose the illusion, you stop being a slave to triggers and become a commander of yourself. That's why the Stoics seemed untouchable. Not because they were emotionless, but because they were unmoved. They could stand in chaos and still see clearly. The pause turns impulse into insight. It separates the reactive from the wise, the weak from the disciplined. Master it, and nothing external can own your peace again. Here's your discipline test. Today, something will try to pull you into reaction, a rude comment, a delay, an unexpected problem. Don't take the bait. Let your silence be the response. Let your calm be the shock. People will wonder how you stay so composed. They'll call it mystery, but you'll know it's mastery. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, and loss, yet wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That's the essence of control, not perfection, but presence. Every time you pause before reacting, you're choosing power over chaos. Every time you breathe instead of breaking, you're teaching your mind who's in charge. The pause is not empty time. It's a sacred weapon. It's how you win without fighting, how you lead without shouting, how you dominate without destruction. Master it, and your enemies will exhaust themselves trying to disturb a peace they can no longer touch. You've been performing your life instead of living it. Every post, every story, every carefully crafted image, it's all become a mask you wear to convince the world you're doing fine. But deep down, you're exhausted. You've turned existence into theater, chasing applause that never comes. You're addicted to perception, how things look instead of how they are. The Stoics would call this madness, seeking fame without virtue, attention without substance. Seneca wrote, "It is a great thing to know the season for speech and the season for silence." But you've forgotten the silence. You're caught in the trap of constant performance, documenting instead of developing, sharing instead of strengthening. You've mistaken visibility for victory. The truth is brutal. Every moment you spend performing is a moment you're not progressing. You can't build inner power while begging for outer validation. The spotlight has blinded you. It's time to step out. Clout is the new addiction. You chase likes like oxygen, forgetting that none of it feeds your soul. You post about the grind instead of doing the grind. You talk about your goals instead of bleeding for them. You share motivational quotes instead of living them. The performance trap gives you the illusion of progress while stealing your drive to actually grow. The Stoics lived the opposite way. They built in private, acted in silence, and spoke only when wisdom demanded it. Marcus Aurelius didn't broadcast his discipline. He documented his battles with himself, in private, with honesty. That's how real growth happens. Unseen, uncelebrated, uninterrupted. Modern clout culture sells the fake version of that. It rewards appearances, not achievements. So, here's your truth. Stop performing for the crowd and start training for the fight. You don't need witnesses. You need work. You don't need applause. You need action. Every time you post your progress for validation, you drain the power meant to finish the mission. You give away the energy that should have fueled your next step. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed discipline was sacred, not a show, but a practice. When you share your plans prematurely, you satisfy the ego instead of the soul. Your brain mistakes the applause for achievement, and you lose the hunger to continue. That's why most people never finish what they start. They're addicted to the performance high. Real warriors know better. They build in shadows so their results can roar in daylight. Your life doesn't need to be an open book. It needs to be a finished one. Stop performing your strength, earn it. Stop chasing visibility, chase mastery. The goal isn't to be seen working. The goal is to work so relentlessly that when they finally notice, it's already too late. Clout feeds the ego but starves the soul. It makes you look successful while quietly draining your spirit. You start measuring your worth by engagement instead of effort, by visibility instead of integrity. But the Stoic path demands the opposite. Substance over spectacle. Seneca warned, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Clout is the modern craving, endless, hollow, never enough. You could have peace, but instead, you chase perception. You could have mastery, but instead, you chase attention. From this moment on, you draw a line, build your empire in silence. Let your results announce your name, not your ego. The world doesn't need another influencer. It needs disciplined builders. The noise of validation will always tempt you, but the power is in walking away. You are not here to be noticed. You are here to become undeniable. Here's your command. Detach your worth from visibility. Stop telling people what you're building and start building it. The silence of real work is louder than 1,000 posts. The Stoics didn't perform their greatness, they forged it quietly, through struggle, humility, and relentless practice. Every moment you spend explaining is a moment you could spend evolving. Every time you chase clout, you trade authenticity for approval. Stop playing that game. It's rigged to keep you small. The algorithm doesn't care about your growth. It cares about your attention. Reclaim it. Measure your success by how disciplined you feel when no one's watching, by how deeply you keep promises only you will know about. When you reject the performance trap, and you no longer chase recognition, you become the recognition. You stop proving and start embodying. That's when you cross the line from performer to master. Right now, life is testing you in silence. You might think you're being forgotten, overlooked, or left behind. But you're not. You're being prepared. The world doesn't reward noise. It rewards transformation that no one saw coming. Every setback, every quiet night of doubt, every failure that forced you to start again. That's not punishment. That's training. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your struggles are not detours, they are direction. But here's the rule. You must protect your comeback story. Don't talk about it. Don't explain it. Don't share it. Build it. Every time you announce your plan, you lose the fire that should have fueled it. Every time you seek validation, you weaken your resolve. The greatest comebacks happen in silence. And when they roar, no one forgets them. You owe no one a preview of your progress. Let them think you disappeared. Let them assume you quit. Let them underestimate you. It's fuel. The Stoics believed transformation wasn't something to be witnessed. It was something to be earned. Seneca wrote his meditations to strengthen his soul, not to impress a crowd. Marcus Aurelius never intended his journal to be read by anyone. They built character in the shadows, while the world chased attention. That's the blueprint. The real comeback isn't a post. It's the discipline to grind in silence when no one is watching. The resilience to keep going when no one is cheering. Stop narrating your process. Stop documenting every struggle. The world doesn't deserve access to your construction phase. Let them see the finished structure. Solid, unshakable, undeniable. Every day you stay silent and consistent, your return grows stronger, and your power becomes impossible to ignore. Understand this. Privacy is your power. Every time you share your goals, your mind gets a false sense of completion, and your hunger fades. Every time you explain your moves, you drain the magic that makes them unstoppable. Protect your process like it's sacred ground, because it is. The Stoics lived by this law. Never waste words on what should be proven by results. You're not here to talk about your evolution. You're here to become it. When you stay quiet, the world stops distracting you. The noise fades. Clarity sharpens. You begin to move differently, slower, sharper, more deliberate. People will notice the change, but they won't understand it. Let them wonder. You don't need them to approve. You need them to doubt. Doubt is the best disguise for greatness. When you finally reveal what you've been building, the same people who ignored you will swear they always believed. The world glorifies exposure, but exposure kills momentum. Every time you broadcast your next move, you invite interference. Every time you seek validation, you give the audience power over your direction. The Stoics mastered the opposite, quiet confidence. They didn't need to announce their discipline, because it showed in the way they lived, the calm they carried, the peace they refused to lose. Your comeback isn't about proving your worth to others. It's about proving your endurance to yourself. You've fallen. You've failed. You've doubted. Good. That's where true strength is forged. No audience, no spotlight, no cheering crowd. Just you versus the old version of yourself. Win that battle in silence, and the world will feel the tremor when you rise. Remember, greatness is not built under applause. It's built under pressure, in darkness, where only your will can see what's coming next. Your silence is not weakness, it's strategy. You are reloading, rebuilding, becoming. Every late night, you push through. Every early morning, you rise when no one's watching. Every small discipline repeated in the dark. That's the work that will make the noise later. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, That's your command. Stop debating your potential and start becoming it. Don't post about your progress. Live it. Don't announce your growth. Embody it. The world measures success in views, but the Stoic measures success in virtue, consistency, calm, courage, and clarity. Every sacrifice you make now is a deposit in your comeback. Every quiet day of progress is another brick in your legacy. Keep stacking, keep sharpening. The time for explanation is over. You're not chasing recognition anymore. You're preparing revelation. And when you finally return, the silence will make the roar deafening. The reason most people never complete their comeback is simple. They can't stand being unseen. They crave validation more than transformation. But real power grows in the shadows, far from likes, noise, and opinions. That's where the fire is built. Every private victory you earn rewires your mind for strength. Every quiet day of discipline turns into future dominance. The Stoics didn't perform their growth. They endured it. They understood that the universe doesn't reward noise. It rewards persistence. Your silence is not empty. It's pregnant with potential. You're building something no one can measure yet. Resilience, focus, depth. The more you keep to yourself, the more solid you become. You don't need to convince anyone of your progress. You just need to stay consistent until it's undeniable. Your silence will make people curious. Your results will make them believers. Your transformation will make them rethink everything. Protecting your comeback means protecting your energy from leaks, emotional, mental, and verbal. Every time you overshare, you scatter your focus. Every time you explain, you justify to people who aren't walking your path. Keep your vision sacred. Let your silence create mystery, and your results create impact. Seneca reminded us, the greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. That means your comeback doesn't depend on who believes in you. It depends on what you do when no one's watching. Stop waiting for the world to notice. Stop chasing the illusion of momentum. You don't need to be seen making progress. You need to make progress. The more you keep your process hidden, the more your power compounds. Work quietly. Rest strategically. Rise deliberately. When your time comes, the world won't see you coming. They'll only see the force you've become. Every day in silence is a seed planted in strength. It doesn't look like progress yet, but it's growing roots, deep, invisible, unshakable. That's how true transformation happens. The Stoics called this the discipline of preparation. Working when the world sleeps, building when no one's watching. You're not just changing your habits, you're rebuilding your foundation. Each act of quiet discipline rewires who you are. The body learns resilience. The mind learns restraint. The soul learns patience. Don't rush this process. A tree doesn't apologize for growing slowly. It's too busy becoming unmovable. Your comeback requires that same patience. Let the world forget you for a while. Let them think you're done. While they waste time talking, you'll be refining. While they chase trends, you'll be mastering timeless strength. And one day, without warning, your silence will erupt into something so powerful they'll ask, where did this person come from? You build your comeback not through motivation, but through repetition. Motivation fades, structure endures. The Stoics didn't rely on feeling ready. They relied on doing what needed to be done. Whether they felt like it or not, Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That's your mission. Decide who you're becoming, then act accordingly, every day. In silence. Without applause, the small routines no one sees will become the habits that define you. The sacrifices no one acknowledges will become the strength that sustains you. You don't need to feel inspired. You need to stay consistent. Discipline is a quiet language. It speaks only to those willing to listen. So, stop talking about changing your life. Prove it in your calendar, in your habits, in your stillness. Your comeback won't arrive as a miracle. It will arrive as the natural consequence of doing the hard things daily. The truth is, no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to remind you to stay disciplined. And no one's coming to clap when you choose growth over comfort. This chapter of your life is between you and the person in the mirror. The Stoics never sought external encouragement. They built internal accountability. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, at dawn, when you wake unwillingly, have this thought, I am rising to do the work of a human being. That's it. No drama, no excuses, just duty. You're not tired, you're undisciplined. You're not lost, you're distracted. Your comeback begins when you stop seeking motivation and start demanding results from yourself. Every morning, choose progress over pity. Every night, evaluate, adjust, repeat. The power you're looking for isn't out there. It's in the quiet choices you make when no one is keeping score. That's where warriors are forged, in solitude, not spotlight. Every obstacle in your path is not blocking you, it's shaping you. The Stoics saw adversity as the raw material of greatness. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The fire feeds on what's thrown into it." That means every setback is fuel, every betrayal, every failure, every delay, it's all part of your training. But here's the secret. You can't build your comeback if you keep broadcasting your struggle. The more you talk about your pain, the less energy you have to heal it. The more you explain your goals, the less momentum you have to chase them. Protect your suffering. It's sacred. Let it refine you in silence. The world doesn't need to know how hard it's been. It only needs to see how strong you've become. You're not a victim. You're a sculptor, carving a masterpiece out of your own trials. Stay quiet, stay focused, and let every difficulty harden your resolve. Not your heart. Understand this. Your comeback isn't meant to be understood while it's happening. Growth looks chaotic in real time. You'll question yourself, feel lost, and wonder if it's working. That's normal. The Stoics embraced uncertainty because they knew clarity is born from endurance. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." The chaos you feel now is strength being built layer by layer. Stop judging your progress by how it feels. Judge it by how you persist. When you move in silence, it may look like nothing is happening, but everything is happening. Every choice not to quit, every hour of quiet work, every small act of self-control, it compounds. And one day, it will all make sense. The noise chasers burn out. The silent ones build legacies. You don't owe anyone updates. You owe yourself results. Keep your head down, your standards high, and your focus absolute. The path of silence is not easy. It's lonely, uncertain, and often invisible, but that's why it works. When no one is watching, there's no ego to perform for, no validation to chase, no pressure to pretend. It's just you and the truth. And that truth, though uncomfortable, is your liberation. The Stoics believed that solitude was not emptiness, but refinement. It's where you learn to face your fears without distraction, to hear your thoughts without noise, to strengthen your will without applause. While others chase attention, you'll be sharpening focus. While they post highlights, you'll be mastering fundamentals. And when you finally emerge, they'll think it happened overnight. But you'll know it took every silent morning, every disciplined night, every moment you chose purpose over comfort. The quiet stage is where warriors are made. Stay there, train there. Let your isolation become your initiation. Your silence doesn't mean you've disappeared. It means you've entered construction mode. You're tearing down old habits, rebuilding new systems, and rewiring your identity from the inside out. That process isn't supposed to be glamorous. It's supposed to be gritty, raw, and unseen. The Stoics didn't wait for perfect conditions. They created strength through imperfection. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show what men are." So when life gets hard, don't complain, calibrate. When no one understands, don't justify, double down. Every time you stay consistent while unseen, you're proving your strength to the only person who matters, yourself. Let the world think you've gone quiet. Let them believe you've slowed down. They can't see the furnace you're standing in, but soon they'll see what it forged. The comeback doesn't need noise. It needs commitment. Every day you work in silence, you add another layer to your invincibility. When you work in silence, you stop chasing perfection and start chasing precision. You learn to build brick by brick, without applause, without shortcuts. This is where character replaces ego. The Stoics trained their minds to find peace in process, not outcome. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." That's the formula. Expect nothing from the world. Demand everything from yourself. Your comeback will take longer than you think, cost more than you expect, and require more patience than you've ever had. But if you stay consistent, if you keep your vision guarded and your focus clean, nothing can stop it. Every day in silence is a declaration. I am not done. I am not defeated. I am becoming. You're not rebuilding the old version of you. You're constructing something stronger, sharper, untouchable. And when the world finally notices, they won't recognize you. They'll revere you. When you rise again, it won't be luck. It will be evidence. Evidence of discipline, of restraint, of endurance. The Stoics called this arete, excellence of character through deliberate action. It's not given, it's earned through invisible labor. The world glorifies outcomes. You must glorify effort. Most people want success without silence, reward without repetition, status without solitude. But that's not how greatness is built. True strength is quiet because it doesn't need to prove anything. The battle-tested soul doesn't crave validation. It creates its own. Remember this. Noise fades, but consistency echoes. Every silent morning, you conquer. Every distraction you deny. Every emotion you master. That's immortality in motion. Your comeback isn't about revenge or recognition. It's about redemption. It's the moment you finally meet the version of yourself you were always meant to become. Keep building. Keep sharpening. The silence is shaping your legacy. When you finally step back into the light, your presence alone will speak louder than any words ever could. You won't need to explain where you've been. Your results will do that for you. You'll carry a calm that others can feel but can't understand. That's the power of private transformation. The Stoics lived for this moment, not for praise, but for proof of mastery. Marcus Aurelius didn't ask to be admired. He demanded of himself to be disciplined. That's your calling now. You've spent enough time talking, posting, waiting to be seen. The next chapter requires silence, consistency, and complete alignment between who you say you are and what you do daily. When your actions and your identity become one, that's when your comeback is complete. The noise will return. The world will notice, but you won't need its approval. You'll be grounded, unshakable, and finally, free. You've walked through all 7 laws: silence, discipline, energy, truth, restraint, authenticity, and resilience. But understand this, they're not steps to success. They're weapons of survival. In a world drowning in noise, distraction, and validation addiction, living by these laws makes you dangerous because it makes you free. The Stoics didn't chase attention. They chased alignment. They built inner worlds so powerful that no external chaos could destroy them. That's your next mission. To build a mind so disciplined that no insult shakes it. A purpose so clear that no failure deters it. And a peace so deep that no noise reaches it. These laws aren't theories, they're practice. You must live them until they become instinct. Because the moment you stop performing and start mastering, you become untouchable. The world can test you, criticize you, tempt you, but nothing can move the one who owns himself. You're not the same person who started this journey. You've seen what distraction does, how noise poisons focus, how validation weakens resolve. You've learned that silence isn't emptiness, it's control. That discipline isn't punishment, it's power. And that peace isn't found, it's built, brick by brick, through relentless consistency. The Stoics didn't wait for motivation. They built momentum through daily repetition. That's what you must do now. Stop chasing the next dopamine hit. Stop explaining your ambition to people who don't understand it. Stop waiting for the perfect time. It doesn't exist. Every second you hesitate, the weaker version of you grows stronger. Every time you act, the warrior version of you sharpens. The only question that matters now is simple. Will you continue to consume philosophy, or will you start to live it? The answer determines who you become from this moment forward. Now it's your move. You've heard the truths most people run from. You've seen the cost of distraction, the weakness of constant performance, and the power of silence, focus, and discipline. The question is, will you live these laws or just listen to them? Most will nod, agree, and go back to scrolling. But not you. You're done performing. You're done explaining. You're done living for everyone except yourself. Starting today, you choose mastery over noise, growth over validation, peace over chaos. You choose to build in silence and rise in strength. If this message struck something deep inside you, prove it, not to me, but to yourself. Take one action today that honors your higher self. And if you're ready to walk this path fully, type it in the comments. I build in silence. Let the world scream. You will move in power. Thanks for listening, and welcome to your Stoic Awakening. If you've made it this far, it means something inside you is waking up. That quiet voice that's tired of waiting, tired of excuses, and ready to rise. Don't let this just be another video you nod along to. Let it be the line where your transformation begins. Take what you've heard today and do something with it. One habit, one decision, one act of discipline that proves you're serious about your growth. The Stoics taught that wisdom means nothing without action. So start now. The life you want isn't waiting for luck. It's waiting for your consistency. Leave your thoughts, your reflections, or your commitment below in the comments. I read every single one. And remember, change doesn't happen when you feel ready. It happens when you decide. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And stay strong. This is Momentum Mindset, where warriors are made in silence